Hello there, this is Out Motorsports. My name is Jake and we are here at the Outback, which is a beautiful historic hotel in Amenia, New York. We are just outside of Lime Rock Park in Connecticut, although here we are in New York, like I said, and that is because I came here on an invite from Subaru to drive the 2022 BRZ, which I have done, and that video is live. It is somewhere up here or here. You can go ahead and watch that whenever you want. But since we were here, Subaru said, hey, we've got something else to show you, so head on up to the tall barn and we'll show you something new. And what that actually is the 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. So Subaru started this wilderness concept with the Outback, and they introduced that earlier this year. We've actually got one of those coming for review here shortly, so keep an eye out on the channel. Be sure to subscribe for that. But they also have started to do this with the Forester, and this wilderness trim level is just part of the trims that are offered with now the Forester and the Outback lineup. And they just make the cars a little bit more off-road friendly if you're going to be taking them more seriously off-road. So every Subaru, especially every Outback, every Forester, is pretty good at going off-road when things get mildly rough. But the point of having the wilderness trims is that when things get even rougher than that, not to where you would need low-range four-wheel drive and things like that, but a little more ground clearance, a little better gearing, those sorts of things, that's what the wilderness is for. So if you're kind of seriously overlanding your vehicle, you might want a wilderness trim. Let's head over here and see what the 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness is all about. All right, and this is it. This is the 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. And we're just gonna do a quick run through. This is kind of what you would see at an auto show normally. So starting with the front bumper here, this is a different front end for all Foresters for 2022, but especially for the Wilderness version. You got your provision right here for a tow hook. And then you've got some different angles here on the sides of the bumper that they say help with approach angles and then departure angles out back. You can also see down here, there's a skid plate that comes standard. And then moving around to the side and the hood of the vehicle, there's this black sticker right here, which they say looks cool, but also helps with glare if you're off-roading and trying to position the vehicle somewhere. It helps cut that sun glare down a little bit. Moving around to the side, you've got some more fender flares, some body cladding. These wheels are unique to the Forester Wilderness. They're a 17-inch wheel with a pretty decent-sized tire on them. It's a Yokohama Geolander all-terrain that is, somewhat aggressive. And one nice thing is that you've got these four wheels, but you also get a full-size spare with the same tire in the back of the Forester. So really nice if you're off-roading and you need that extra wheel. It is the same thing. It's not going to be a donut space saver sort of deal. Moving back towards the rest of the vehicle, you've got these special wilderness badges here on the sides. And what you'll notice with these wilderness cars is that copper is kind of your special color. So you've got accents with the Forester badging right here, and then we'll show you inside in just a second. This blue is also a unique color on the wilderness cars. This is called Geyser Blue. It's a little different from the World Rally Blue that is the street car signature color. This is apparently their off-road signature color. So looking around back here, this one does not have a tow hitch equipped, but Subaru did a few different things with the final drive of the CVT. They changed it out for the same one that's in the Outback Wilderness, so your final gearing of this car is different, and that gives you a little bit better power for takeoff, just a little more torque off the line, and it also increases the towing capacity. It doubles it from 1,500 pounds to 3,000 pounds. So pretty good for the Forester Wilderness. The transmission is otherwise the same. It's still a CVT, and the engine is unchanged from the rest of the Forester models. Now looking at the very top of the vehicle here, there is a roof rack as you would expect with a Forester or something like a Forester. You'll notice these copper colored accents again. And what's actually interesting is they moved the roof rack rails out by about 20 millimeters, and they said that that increased the static load of this thing to hold 800 pounds when you're parked. So if you're overlanding somewhere, as they said a lot of their owners are already doing, they said everyone's putting a rooftop tent on these things anyway, so why not make the official capacity a little bit higher? So this roof rack is rated when you're parked to hold 800 pounds. They said that's enough for a 3-person tent. So the non-wilderness Foresters still have a pretty decent roof rack capacity, but it's a little bit more, so if you're looking to do some overlanding, this one will hold a little bit more weight. Now moving to the inside of everything, you'll see you've got the same copper colored accents here on the steering wheel, on the shifter, on the drive mode dial, and then you've got this unique water-resistant material called StarTex on the seats. So this is a water-resistant kind of dark gray material, kind of almost a neoprene looking material. And you've got some coppered color stitching here on the outsides of it. You've got the Wilderness logos here on the headrests. And then moving down to the floor mats, these are also unique for the Forester Wilderness. They've also got that copper colored logo and a unique tread pattern. Now, sitting inside this one, this does have the optional upgraded navigation and Harman Kardon sound, as well as rear automatic braking. That is the only option package you can get on the Forester Wilderness. It adds about $1,800 to the price. Everything else that you see here is going to just be standard equipment for the Forester Wilderness. This is not the fully loaded trim of a Forester. You can go a little bit more fully loaded if you really want to, but these are fairly well equipped as they are. The other thing with the 2022 Forester, not exclusive to the Wilderness, is Subaru Eyesight. So you'll notice the two big eyes up here, and this is the first vehicle in their lineup to offer Eyesight 4, which they say has a wider field of vision versus the older Subaru Eyesight systems. So it's not exclusive to the Wilderness, it's just on this car. And one more thing as we move back out to the exterior of the vehicle, let's go ahead and shut the door here. And that is ground clearance. This is something that matters obviously to everyone who's gonna go off-roading, and every Subaru crossover has a standard 8.7 inches of ground clearance. That's what Subaru claims. But with the Wilderness, obviously they want to do more. And in this case, with the Forester Wilderness, they have added another ½ inch of ground clearance. So where the standard Forester gets you 8.7 inches, this one has 9.2 inches at its rated areas. So a little bit more. It is not as much as the Outback Wilderness. That one gets about 9.6. And Subaru was somewhat cagey with the reasons for why they couldn't do a little bit more ground clearance on the Forester. If I had to guess, it's probably because it's a little bit, narrower, taller vehicle than the Outback, and a little bit shorter wheelbase. So they have to think about, roll safety and stability and things like that if drivers are getting in situations where they're going to be hucking it through a turn and need it to stay four wheels on the ground. But regardless, these vehicles are going to start in the mid $32,000 range. Like I said, there's only one option package that comes along with that at another $1,800, and that's all before destination. So add a little bit more for that. That is all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for coming along. As always, please be sure to subscribe. And if you want to see a full road test of this Forester Wilderness, maybe even get it out on an off-road trail, please be sure to subscribe. We are going to try and get one from our local fleet when they are available. These are going to go into production shortly and be on sale starting in October. Subaru confirmed this is not a limited production vehicle. They are going to make as many of them as they can sell. So if you're interested, you will be able to get one at some point. Thank you so much for coming along. As always, please stay safe, be well. We will see you again soon.